This week, we saw the first presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and it was a train wreck. I've been kind of surprised because I picked up on a few things that I don't hear anyone talking about in the mainstream media. We're going to cover the top 10 things you may have missed from the presidential debate. We have to start by talking about the entrance and exit. I think this says a lot about what happened during the debate. Here's the footage of Joe Biden walking out on stage. What is going on here? It looks like he can barely walk. I didn't even know if he was going to make it to the podium. And I've mentioned this before. Why does he hold his hands like that? It's like he can't move his hands. Can anyone explain what is going on with Joe Biden's hands? As soon as I saw Joe Biden's entrance, I knew the debate was over in the first 10 seconds. Just to contrast, here is Donald Trump walking out. He looks like a boss. But what is even more shocking is the exit. At the end of the debate, CNN cut away from the debate stage so you could not see this. Here's the footage of Jill Biden helping her husband off the stage. He's so exhausted, he cannot make it down those little steps on his own. Are you kidding me? How is this man running our country? He barely made it through a debate. This brings us to the poll numbers. CNN performed a flash poll immediately after the debate with the result that 67% of the viewers thought that Donald Trump won the debate. This is massive. I don't remember there ever being a presidential debate where the winner was declared by such a massive margin. In another poll, here are the odds of who will win the presidency. You can see that Donald Trump skyrockets and Joe Biden plummets. This really highlights the major problem in American politics today. Americans are siloed. Because of social media and algorithms, Americans only receive the news that they want to hear. So if you're a Republican, you watch Fox News. And if you're a Democrat, you watch MSNBC. So if you're a Democrat, you've been hearing constantly that Joe Biden is great and healthy when he really is not. During the debate night, many American viewers were forced for the first time to look at reality. No filters, no spin. These are the two candidates in their own words. And I think that a lot of people were shocked. I don't think people even knew Joe Biden was in such bad shape. The result was a decisive debate victory for Donald Trump. One of the shocking things for me was that the whole night, Joe Biden had a bizarre expression on his face. I can only describe this as dead face. His eyes were glazed over, he had no expression, he never blinked. His mouth was hanging open. I almost expected that we were going to see drool coming out of the side of his mouth. And you saw all of this side by side against Donald Trump, who looks like a normal person. What is wrong with Joe Biden? Was he on drugs? Because that looks like the face of someone who is on drugs. In fact, Joe Biden refused to take a drug test before the debate. Donald Trump offered to take a drug test, but for some reason, Joe Biden would not take a drug test. Isn't that suspicious? I need to point out what I feel is Trump's greatest mistake from that night. He failed to call out Joe Biden for his criminal activity. He barely touched on it.
We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China. So I think he's afraid to deal with them or something.
That's it? I think this was a huge lost opportunity for Donald Trump. Joe Biden is under impeachment inquiry by Congress for massive crimes against the American people. We have covered it a lot on this channel because there is so much evidence. I still want an explanation of why Hunter Biden received $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. Then Joe Biden kept her off the sanctions list when Russia invaded Ukraine. Why did the Bidens receive that money? There are so many of Joe Biden's crimes that we need answers for. I think this was a huge missed opportunity by Donald Trump. The abortion topic was the craziest moment of the debate. Everyone knows abortion is the weakest issue for Republicans. The majority of Americans want some access to abortion to be available, and this one issue is keeping Republicans from being elected. When Joe Biden received the question on abortion, this is what he had to say.
The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states, let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in, they talk about that. But here's the deal. There's a lot of young women who are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters.
So instead of attacking Trump on abortion, Joe Biden changes the topic to talk about immigration. Really? Joe Biden is so in love with open borders that he even makes abortion about immigration. I have no idea why he would bring this up, because the story he is mentioning is so horrible. I believe he's talking about the case of Jocelyn Nungare, a 12-year-old girl who was murdered by 2 illegal immigrants. She was strangled and dumped in the river in Houston, Texas. Here is her mother.
She was going to make it. She was going to do things. And these men, these illegal men, took that opportunity from my daughter, from our family, of watching her become this amazing person. So now, with her voice being ripped away from her, I am going to be her voice and stand strong and try to make a difference in this world, because this has got to stop. We have to stop burying our kids.
I'm sorry. I can't listen anymore. This is so tragic. I can't even begin to imagine the pain her mother is feeling. Why would Joe Biden so flippantly mention this in the debate? Why isn't Joe Biden going to this girl's funeral? More importantly, why isn't he doing anything to fix the border? This was the worst answer Joe Biden could possibly have given for the abortion issue. Speaking of the border, Joe Biden gave the biggest lie of the night. He announced on the stage that his campaign was endorsed by the Border Patrol because of his great job controlling the border. The only problem is that the Border Patrol never endorsed him. Why would he lie about a campaign endorsement? In fact, the Border Patrol posted this tweet in real time, fact-checking Joe Biden. To be clear, we never have and never will endorse Biden. This was a major lie that backfired on Joe Biden, and is just another example that he has no clue what he is doing at the border. One of the biggest issues in this race is the weaponization of the government against the American people. We are seeing more and more examples that if you are a Republican, you are targeted and imprisoned. We see this with all the court cases against Donald Trump. This is something that should never happen in America. In a shocking statement, Joe Biden actually threatens Donald Trump from the debate stage.
Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face.
He says he has a lot more cases down the road coming around. There are even more cases coming? What is Joe Biden planning for his opponent? How could he even know about these cases unless he was coordinating with the Justice Department to get Trump? He's not talking about the past cases. He says there are more cases coming. I'm shocked that Joe Biden is threatening his opponent with lawfare from the debate stage. Then there was the earpiece. A number of people have noticed that during the debate, Joe Biden appears to be adjusting a hidden earpiece. Is someone feeding answers to Joe Biden in his ear? If true, this is a blatant violation of the debate rules.
Pre-written notes, props, or contact with campaign staff are not permitted during the debate. By accepting our invitation to debate, both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept these rules.
What do you think? Do you think Joe Biden is cheating at the debate? I cannot believe that Joe Biden brought up Charlottesville. Joe Biden famously uses this Charlottesville story as the reason why he originally decided to run against Donald Trump. Just last week, Snopes completely debunked the Charlottesville story. This is an extremely leftist news outlet that has confirmed this is a lie. Literally last week, everyone agreed this was phony. Why would Joe Biden decide to use this attack again during the debate? It doesn't win him anything. Instead, it makes him look like a fool. And the number 10 thing you may have missed at the debate, Medicare. Trump made really strong arguments that Joe Biden will destroy Social Security and Medicare because Joe Biden is bringing in so many illegal immigrants and giving them social services like putting them up in luxury hotels. Listen to Joe Biden's explanation and be aware that this was only 10 minutes into the debate.
We need to do child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
He's going to beat Medicare? What is he talking about? It sounds like Joe Biden has lost his mind. Many Americans use the debates to help them decide their vote for president. This debate certainly provided a stark contrast and was a disaster for Joe Biden. Now I want to hear from you. Who do you think won the debate? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. If you find these videos helpful, consider becoming a channel member on my website, wolvesandfinance.com. For $6 a month, your support helps me to keep making these videos. I'm Zach from Wolves and Finance. Thank you for watching.